Hey guys, welcome to the NFL Week 1 pregame show. We are here from the 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast, and we are going to get into Week 1. That's going to be coming to you guys live in about an hour. We're going to give you guys our picks for all of the games. We're going to give you some friendly betting advice. Remember, betting always involves a chance of risk of losing your money. And we're going to break down what is going to go on with the Bills later tonight at 8:15 on the NBC network. So with that, I'm Mike, your host of the 716 Sports Entertainment. Join me, Mr. T. Reese, and Mr. Sean O'Neill. And fellas, we made it. It is week 1, and it is going to be here in about an hour. How we feeling?
I mean, technically it's already here, but especially with watching the Chiefs lose. So that's a great start to week 1.
Congratulations. I mean, I called it, didn't I?
You did. Yeah, I give you full credit. I'm so happy you were right.
I figured them playing overseas, things were going to get weird for him over there, man. No home field advantage for him. Hey,
losing Xavier
Chargers are coming in ready to go. I mean, they played a flawless game, and
no. I mean, at the end of the half, there they did not play a flawless game.
Okay, well, I mean, except for one hiccup in the game. I mean, pretty much. I mean, the Chargers were in control of most of that game.
And honestly, losing Xavier Worthy on the first drive of the game was huge for Kansas City.
Unbelievable.
So one of them ran the
route.
No. I'm especially angry about that because not only did I have Xavier Worthy on my fantasy team, but I also had A.J. Brown. So great start to fantasy for me.
Yeah, I got Worthy in my work league, and it's not starting out good this week for me.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the Bills and the Ravens tonight, 8 o'clock, 8:15 on NBC. How are we feeling about the game? Are we confident? The line is right now 1.5 for Baltimore, and the over/under, according to DraftKings, is 50.5.
I'm still worried. I think that taking the under on this one is the smart play, but I'm real concerned. I mean, I picked Baltimore to win this one anyway. And I mean, we discussed it the other day. I think Baltimore needs this game more. I would love for the Bills to continue their pattern of home primetime games and their domination. Would absolutely love for them to just come out and crush them. But I think it's going to be a close game. And I think it's going to go Baltimore's way, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's what a lot of the pundits are thinking too. You know, you know what? I'm normally I would say any other year, usually I would say we probably would lose this opening game to Baltimore. Usually the Bills typically kind of look weird on their first game of the season. So I mean, it's a good chance Baltimore. I wouldn't be surprised if they won on the first game of the season, but I don't know, man. I just feel different about this team this year. I just feel like there's something different going on. I just don't think it's going to be the same Bills we've seen over the last, 5-6 seasons in these openers. I think they're going to come out swinging. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. I do think that, but that 50-point mark though for a total, I think it's going to go just under that 50, in my opinion. But I wouldn't be surprised if this game ended like 33-30. I would not be surprised if the game ended that way. But I just got a feeling that, this is going to be a different look for the Bills, man. And don't forget now, Baltimore is losing some key pieces on their offense. We got some key pieces on defense we're losing. So it's almost, in my opinion, it's almost a wash. But, I mean, I guess if you're going to swing towards Baltimore, I mean, talent-wise, their offense has a lot more talent than the Bills do right now. Just, in terms of accolades and things like that. But I think the Bills win. I think they win in a close one, and I think I think it's going to be a crazy game. At first I thought this game wasn't going to be. I thought it was going to kind of start out slow, but then I'm starting to get this feeling that this game's going to kick off real fast, especially with the opening kickoff.
So Tyler Bass is out. Christian Benford is in. Keon Coleman is in. Isaiah Likely is out. Tre'Davious White is out. So that means Dorian Strong will be in his place.
Maybe.
So I mean, I don't love that White is out. And I don't know how I feel about Matt Prater coming in as kicker. I suppose it can't be that much different than Tyler Bass, but I am glad that Coleman is well enough to go.
Yeah,
Um,
we'll see how much game time he gets for this too with that growing injury. Because again, I told you the Bills are real. They go a little over the top when it comes to certain injuries, and I wouldn't be surprised he's on account.
you didn't mention it, but Baltimore's fullback, I believe, is out too.
Picard,
Yes.
Picard.
And
Yep.
that's huge, huge for Baltimore because he plays a pretty big part in their game plan, setting up blocks for Henry.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that's honestly, in my opinion, I think that the injuries to Baltimore are worse than the injuries to Buffalo. And I think that, I mean, my big concern as far as the Bills side goes is I'm still real concerned about their defensive backfield. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Talk about that for a minute. How do we feel about Joey Bosa? What kind of impact do we think he's going to have?
If he can
I
stay
think
healthy,
I expect him to get a sack in their opening drive from Baltimore. I'm expecting.
Really?
Yep. I'm expecting him to get a sack in the opening drive.
I would love it. Love it. I think as long as he can stay healthy, the guy's a tremendous impact player. I mean, just like Von Miller was when he first came in. His Von Miller with his first season with Buffalo was pretty damn good. And you bring in another impact player like this, and as long as he doesn't run into a health issue, it's our defensive line is pretty scary.
Well, I mean, on paper, but they got to
Yeah, that's what I think.
they got to put they got to do it on the field though. So we'll see what they do. I mean, don't forget now these going to have two young inside defensive linemen who this will be their first experience, especially going against the Baltimore Ravens. But then again, the Ravens have some issues at the guard spots. They lost Bakari from last year, who was a really good guard. Linderbaum, I'm not worried about. He's one of the best centers in the league. But both their guard spots, I think they have a rookie and another guy who hadn't played there last year. I think he was drafted a couple of years ago, or a year or so ago, but he was injured, so he didn't really get a lot of play time either. I mean, so our defensive tackle should take advantage of the inside, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think I agree. I mean, I'm obviously, you got to be worried about Lamar. And I know you guys have said it for a while that, the way to hold back the Ravens, right, is to have Lamar beat you as a passer and not a runner. And I think the Bills did a good job of that in the playoff game. And I mean, yeah, they got lucky with some drops and stuff like that. But, I said, I don't know. I worry about McDermott. I worry about coaching. And I just, I don't know. Until McDermott can prove to me that he can, you know, play. I'm never worried about McDermott when we play bad teams. I'm worried about McDermott when we play good teams. Because I think McDermott gets outsmarted and gets out coached, frankly, by some of the better competition in this league. And it always seems like we lose these kind of games via boneheaded plays, right? Like boneheaded calls, boneheaded decision making. I mean, last year in the regular season, we got blown out by them 35-17. But we almost blew that playoff game. I mean, so the second half of that playoff game looked a lot different than the first half of that playoff game against Baltimore, so I don't know.
Well,
So
don't forget, a lot of that game had to do with the Bills just didn't have to do much. I mean, they did what they normally do. They take a lead and then they kind of sit on it and make you play from behind. And that's what they did with Baltimore. So I thought the game went like every other Bills game did most of the year. You take that early lead and then the Bills ride you out for the rest of the game. It kind of went in that direction. And like people are saying, oh, well, Baltimore gave it away. Well, I mean, you turned the ball over, what, twice, three times in that game?
that was
It don't matter
that
who
would
you
be
are, you're going to lose to whoever it is. But I don't think that they would have won the game flat out if they didn't turn the ball over. That's another question because, to be honestly, the Bills' defense was slowing them down just like they were slowing us down. So it wasn't really like their defense was dominating us. We just didn't have to do much because they just kept giving us the ball.
So that playoff game, there were 2 points for it for me. Everyone was trying to blame the Mark Andrews drop for costing them the game without taking into account that there was still like 2 minutes left in that game. The Bills would have gotten the ball back and knowing Allen marched down the field. But the other point is with everybody trying to blame Mark Andrews is you're taking away the fact that Lamar had two huge turnovers in that game. He had an interception and a fumble. And you're not going to win games and they were at key points too. And honestly, the way that it's not just making Lamar beat you as a passer that lets you win the game, Lamar, if you can get to him, he gets in his own head. So if Bosa, in fact, gets a sack on the first drive, the earlier we can get to Lamar, I think the better the chance of them winning.
So I've heard a lot of people say that there's a big difference between, and listening to you guys too, there's a big difference between playoff Lamar and regular season Lamar. Kind of like Peyton Manning, right? Like everyone said over his whole career, right? Playoff Peyton Manning until he finally got over the hump. Playoff Peyton Manning was different from regular season Peyton Manning. And I think Lamar is a lot of the same way. Lamar is a monster during the regular season. He puts up video game numbers a lot of the time, right? But I don't know. Are they gonna just run it up on us? Is Derrick Henry gonna break an 80-yard run and like
No.
we're gonna be throwing shit at the television screen?
Lamar puts up a lot of his numbers against bad teams too. I mean, we talked about it. He stayed in all 4 quarters against the Giants when they were already up by like 30 points.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm sorry, but yeah, his numbers make him look a lot better than he is, in my opinion. I mean, he's still an amazing quarterback. He's in the top 5 for current players, but I still think Allen is better than him because of the way that he puts up his points. And I think that the Henry aspect goes is as long as they can have someone spying him, and I think as long as they can keep him. If you look back, I think it was 6 or 7 times under McDermott we've played against Derrick Henry. There's only been 2 games where he's really gone off against us. There was the game last year where he went off for 200 yards, and there was one game where he was with Tennessee where I think he ran for 140, and all the rest of the games they've kept him at like 70, 65, 75 yards. So if we can get that kind of game plan and that kind of lockdown on him, I think it's one of your keys to winning.
So do you think that is a result of the Bills playing well, or do you think that is a result of the game that John Harbaugh called?
I think it's the defense. Because you force him to get away from the run, it makes Harbaugh change his game plan. You know what I mean? You have a good defense that holds him 4 or 5 times in a row. The Bills go up by 2 scores maybe. You have to get away from the run at that point because you're playing so far behind.
Yeah, and I think that last year Baltimore was more closer to a balanced offense. A lot of people don't know that. Baltimore was, I think it was like 51-49, 51% passing, 49 rushing. So I don't know if it's just stopping the runs enough. What you got to do with Lamar is like you have to do with most, run heavy offenses is you have to take away the first read from the quarterback.
Yep.
I think that's what the Bills are going to primarily do. You take away the first read, make Lamar read the entire field, get pressure on him, force him into mistakes. Because whenever he plays the Bills, he tends to make mistakes. I don't know what McD has the blueprint for him. Even if we lose in the regular season, there's a reason why we beat him in the second game because we always end up figuring it out. So I think that what they're going to do is they're going to try and obviously you got to stop Derrick Henry. That's number one. You can't let that guy run all over the field. Now, Bills fans, he's going to get his runs.
Yep.
Let's just accept that. And the thing is with Derrick Henry, it's not like he runs all over him. He gets one big run and that's it.
Yeah.
One big run, that's it. It's no different than them, someone making a deep ball on you and scoring a touchdown. It's the same thing. So I don't think it's as bad as people think it is with Derrick Henry. He's going to get his runs. But again, like I said, you just got to limit him. That's it. And generally, he gets one big run against the Bills every time he plays them, except for last year in the playoffs. Every time we played Derrick, he's got one big run off on us. I wouldn't be surprised if he got it again this year. But I just think the Bills are going to have to take away the first read. But the cornerback situation for the Bills, it's not ideal. You're in your third string quarterback right now. And it's going to be either Ingram or it's going to be Strong. I don't feel good about that because that means you're going to have to fry Fabian safeties over the top. You're going to have to give them some help underneath. We'll see. Maybe it is Dorian Strong. We don't know. Maybe Dorian Strong has looked good enough that they trust him enough to be in. It won't be the first time, McDee's put a rookie out there to play cornerback. So I in my opinion, I think they're going to try Strong just to see how it works out. If he's a big body cornerback, I think that they're going to try and see what he does first. If it kind of gets out of hand, I think they're probably going to switch to Ingram.
It can't be any worse than entire Elam. So
No, that's true.
The talk is that it's supposed to be strong. It'll be interesting to see, like you said. I mean, you might see a combination of both of them. The other thing I think that's key to this, like you said, Henry normally gets off one big run. Hopefully, it's not their first play of the game like it was in that game last season where he went off for that 80-yard run. But keep in mind too, our game last year against them, we had a bunch of significant injuries. Milano out, Benford out, Shakir getting hurt during the game. Major injuries. Having most of those guys back is going to be huge. And I think another key for them to win is making sure that they take away the option from Lamar.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, McDee's really good at teaching our players, especially the defensive line and linebackers, how to read RPOs. So they never really ever got burnt on RPOs, McD. So I'm not worried about that. I'm more or less the way the Bills are going to beat Baltimore. There's two. It's going to be running the ball and getting the ball to the tight ends. Kincaid, I expect to have a big game today. I think Kincaid is going to have a big game. Baltimore has struggled to cover tight ends. For the last few seasons, they've been one of the worst in covering tight ends in the league. So I expect the Bills. I think that's what the Bills wanted to do last year. But Kincaid, obviously, they said the injury was kind of hampering Josh and him never being on the same page. And the only reason they're not on the same page is because Kincaid's always got injuries he's dealing with. So I think with a healthy Kincaid out there, I think you're going to get a healthy dose of Kincaid. I think that's how the Bills have to beat them. They have to run the ball effectively. You get your 3-4 yard chunks if you don't get, 10, 20. And then I think they're going to try and do a lot over the middle, try and get Roquan Smith for them to try to chase around the tight ends.
Yeah. So what's your final prediction for the game?
Sean?
Baltimore 26, Buffalo 24.
I like that. My prediction, I'm leaning more on 31-25 Buffalo.
I think I'm going to go 27-21 Baltimore.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not there. Of all of the games this season, this is the one I'm the most nervous about.
Yep.
I think after watching the Chiefs on yesterday or Friday, I'm not worried about the Chiefs at all. I think the Bills will destroy them. And Eagles didn't look great either. So, this is the only game the entire season I'm worried about. I think Baltimore's going to be coming in hot, and I think Baltimore needs this game way more than we need this game. We talked about it when we did our final kind of season review. I just, the Bills could very easily rattle off 7 after this, no problem. The Bills are going to be huge favorites in the next 7 games they play.
Well, Sammy, the only thing I want to give you that might, I'm not trying to change your mind or anything. The Bills are 11-0. They're 11-0 at home right now, starting from last year.
Yeah,
from the end of the year before, they have not lost at home in 11 straight games. So that's number one. I mean, McD. Like I said, we start out a little slow in openers. We generally win. I believe McD's 6-2 since he's been with the Bills. So. Like I said, I mean, there's some other factors that not just what Baltimore's feeling, and if they're feeling like they need that, they want to take it out in the first game. Like, hey, by all means, empty your tank in the first game, and then lose the next 5.
Yeah,
because you're going against other playoff teams right after this. So if they're that emotional, so be it. I'll take the L if it causes them to lose 3-4 games after this.
That's fair.
I was telling you before we started filming that. My only other thing is that I don't really want to listen to the media talk about this game if the Bills lose, and the only positive out of that is with the Chiefs losing too. At least that kind of overshadows it.
The media is going to have an awful lot to say about other things that went on, though. Like the Chiefs are going to be a big talking point. Dak Prescott's going to be a big talking point. The way the Eagles didn't look right and the spitting incident at the Eagles game is going to be a big talking point all week. So I'm not super worried about what the Nick Wrights of the world have to say. And, we still have 17, so I think we'll be just fine.
Yep.
But with that, let's take a moment to go around the league, and let's start with the 1 o'clock slate. We've got The Arizona Cardinals visiting the New Orleans Saints. The line is 5.5 in favor of Arizona, and the over-under is 44.5. How are we feeling about this game?
I'm taking the Cardinals.
Kyler Murray is ill, but he will play.
I take the under, and I think Arizona wins because I think covers because New Orleans is going to be the worst team in the league this year.
That's bold.
Who's the quarterback?
I second that. I don't think the Saints are going to do much at all.
Spencer Rattler, I think.
Yeah.
Who the hell is Spencer Rattler?
He's the kid they drafted.
Yeah. They don't have enough in that on their team. New Orleans has been digging out of a cap hell since Drew Brees. This is why they've never been able to replenish their rosters because I think they were up to like $25-30 million a couple of years ago over the cap. So they've had to shut off a lot of their roster, and it has to be a complete rebuild. But for them, they just haven't gotten a spot to get the number one pick, so they can get a quarterback. That's their only problem is they're not in a spot to get a quarterback, and it's primarily because their division isn't all that great either.
Yeah.
So you can treat that division how you can treat the NFC East. It's just whoever. Every year it can end up being somebody different. There's never really anyone that dominates the entire division consistently. So. For them, I think that they just don't have enough competition, and I think that's what kind of holds them back from getting one of those top 5 picks so they can get a quarterback.
What's your final look on the game, Reese?
I like Arizona. I like Arizona by 3.
Okay. Next, we have the Miami Dolphins visiting the Indianapolis Colts. The line for that one is the Colts by 1.5, and the total is 47.5.
Sure. I think I would take the under on this, and I think that Indy is going to pull off the win here. Technically, in my book, even though they're favored, I think Indy winning is an upset because Indy has been a lot worse than Miami has been. But Indy's defensive coordinator does a real good job of taking away quick passes, and Tua is like the king of the quick pass in Miami. So I think Indy's going to win this one.
I like the Dolphins. I just don't think the Colts have enough on defense to stop their offense. And I just don't think the Colts offense is enough to keep up with Miami. So I lean towards a team that has the better offense in here, just for the simple fact neither team. The Colts defense is okay. It's not the best in the league, but they got a pretty decent defense, but it's not the greatest. But I just don't think they have enough key components to slow down the Dolphins offense. So I'm going to go with the Dolphins to win this game on the road. It's a road game, so if I had to pick, they probably win by 3.
I have one more point. This is going to be the start of your comeback player of the year, quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts, Daniel Jones.
Next, we have the Las Vegas Raiders visiting the New England Patriots. The Raiders with new coach Pete Carroll, the Patriots with new coach Mike Vrabel, and the Patriots are really loaded up this year, looking like they're going to try and make a run at it. The Patriots are favored by 2.5, and the total is 44.5.
That's easy money for you. Take the Patriots 2.5. Easy money. The Raiders do not have anything to beat that team in New England on the opener. And Vrabel starting him, and he's the coach. No, 2.5 is easy money. You may even be able to bump that up to maybe 4.5 to 5, just for the simple fact of that. I just don't see New England even coming close to even losing this game.
The Raiders added a decent amount of stuff this year too. I think that it's going to be a tighter game than you think, T. I put this as a pick'em game. I really wasn't 100% sure. If New England wins, it's going to be real close. I think it's going to be like a point or 2 difference for this game.
Okay. Next, we have Old Man Rodgers and the Steelers visiting the Jets, who are my pick to be the worst team in the league this year. I think the Jets will be lucky to win 3 games this year. Pittsburgh is favored by 2.5, and the spread is 38.5. Wow, that's low.
No, it's going to be the usual on that one. It's going to be Steelers defense, destroying the Jets offense. I just don't see. There's nothing on that Jets offense that scares anybody. I'm be honest with you. There's nobody on their offense that scares you. I mean, they have names that were drafted early, early round picks and stuff, and that's what their names are. But they've done nothing in this league right now. I expect the Steelers to win. I think it's gonna be a low scoring game, as all Steelers games usually are. So I think you take the Steelers and take it 3-4 points by 3 or 4.
So Steelers obviously have a great defense. Jets have a decent defense, so I agree it'll be a low scoring game. The question is, I mean, you have two quarterbacks coming out with something to prove here. I think that as long as Rodgers can stay away from some of his stupid decisions that he has made over the last couple of years, the Steelers should win easily. But it's always tough with Aaron Rodgers, especially lately, that he's not going to do something dumb. But I think Pittsburgh is still the way to go.
And plus Aaron Rodgers is, he's a bit of I think he holds grudges.
Yeah, for sure.
So I expect that he's going to probably be on point, at least, especially for this game.
Oh, especially with the way they cut him. I was watching them do an interview with him this morning, and apparently he was flying to the West Coast with them. They asked him, "Oh, are you planning on playing next year?" He was like, "Yeah." And they said, "Oh, well, I guess you should play for someone else."
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to be coming in pissed off.
Oh yeah, and he's got DK there now, so I expect them to. I don't expect them to have the destructive offense or anything. It's gonna be the typical Pittsburgh, offense: run the ball, get the ball to the tight ends, pop it deep, very slow, methodical. Let your defense win the game for you, and I think that's what's going to happen here. Fields against the Pittsburgh defense.
Who is Pittsburgh's running back?
Good luck, kid.
Yeah.
Who's Pittsburgh's running back?
Still Najee, right?
No, Najee's not doing it. I think it's isn't it like Hilton or something like that?
Najee went to, I think, San Diego or the
Chargers. Yeah. I think it's. Let me get his name again. It's kind of like the guy that took over last year.
Okay.
Let's see. Where do you get their roster?
Jalen Warren?
Yeah.
And he picked up on it last year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was like sharing time.
So they have an experienced running back now. So yeah, no, Pittsburgh is definitely the way to go.
Yep.
Next, we have the Giants visiting Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders. Can Jaden Daniels continue his sensational season that he had last year and make his case to be the MVP? They are favored by 6.5, and the line is 45.5. It is in Washington.
So I'm going to go first here because you guys made fun of me earlier this year for my thoughts on Washington. I think Washington wins this. They easily cover. I take the over on this one. And this is the start of Washington winning that division.
Old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I like Washington to win this game. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game like everybody thinks. I think the Giants' defensive line they got arguably you could argue they have the number one defensive line in the league. So I think that, in my opinion, it's going to be a very close game, low-scoring game. But I do think Washington's going to win. I don't think Jaden Daniels is going to do the same thing he did last year, all over the place. That's usually how it happens every year. You get one quarterback out of the rookie class that just looks like they're all world, and then the next year they just kind of fall off.
Like C.J. Stroud 2 years ago.
Yeah, people have tape on you now. So it's about how you can get over that tape and evolve your game. And I still think it's early in his career. And I think they're putting, how it is, the talking heads. They got to put the crown on somebody. They always got to pick somebody to put the crown on. They're putting it on Jaden Daniels this year. I think they're going to lose. I think they're going to win, but I just don't think they're going to blow them off the field.
All right. Next, we have what is likely to be the worst game of the weekend, which thankfully we will probably not see. And that's the Carolina Panthers visiting the Jacksonville Jaguars. This game, woof. Just absolute woof.
I don't even know why we're even picking this.
Yeah, the line has moved. Jacksonville is a bigger favorite now. It's 4.5, and 45.5 is the total.
Yeah, I take the under.
Yep.
I take the under, and I wouldn't even bet on who's going to win. Just take the under. There's no telling who's going to win this game. I mean, neither one of these teams are world beaters. Neither one of these teams have the greatest quarterbacks in the world. In my opinion, I don't even have a pick. I mean, if you're going to make me pick somebody, I'm going to take the home team, obviously. But I just don't think this game's going to go. I think it's going to be like one of those 21-17 games. I think that's what you're going to get out of that.
Yeah, I would agree.
I have Jacksonville winning this one. I think the thing to watch out of this will just be to see what Travis Hunter does.
Yeah.
Well, they said that a lot of talk. People are wanting to see what he's going to do on the field. This is his time to shine, and he's their pick. Yep. Like last year was Jaden Daniels. This year, as far as rookies, he's the pick this year for everybody to watch. So we'll see.
Next, we have Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals visiting the Dog Pound to take on Myles Garrett and the Cleveland Browns and Joe the Real Deal Flacco.
What's the line?
5.5 and 47.5.
Don't sleep on this game. I mean, if you're smart, you would obviously bet Cincinnati, but they struggle against the Browns every single time they play them. Every single time they play them. So it wouldn't shock me if the Browns won, being that they're at home.
So AFC North division games are always interesting because you almost can never guess who's actually going to win. I mean, hell, we've seen Cleveland beat Baltimore. So, I mean, what was it last year? Pittsburgh beat Baltimore without scoring a single touchdown. Like, and if there's a tough divisional games to pick, it is the AFC North, because every one of those teams outside of Cincinnati have pretty good defenses, and Cincinnati just has such a good offense that it usually makes up for that. I think I still take Cincinnati here just to be on the safe side, but I think it's going to end up being a pretty close game.
Yeah, plus Cincinnati, they say they're going to be, they're going to stop the habit of starting out slow. Every year they start out slow, so maybe they're going to, really focus on trying to really pull this one off. But I think they win. But I think this is going to not. It's not going to be like an explosive game. And then again, I still think that Cincinnati and Cleveland generally play to the wire. So I think Cincinnati wins, but I don't expect. Don't be surprised if Cleveland pulls it off.
If there was a potential for a tie this weekend, it would be this game.
The last game of the 1:00 slate is Bake Show Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers visiting Michael Penix and the Atlanta Falcons. Tampa is favored by 1.5, and the line is 47.5 here. I love this one. I think this game is going to be great. I'm actually, of all the 1:00 games, I'm looking forward to this one the most. I think it's going to be a fun game. I love Baker Mayfield. I think he's great. I think Tampa's a lot of fun. I think this will be a really fun game.
Yeah, I mean their wide receiver situation is still a little out of whack with Godwin still out. But I'm all about the Bake Show, and I think this could end up being a high scoring game. So I still take Tampa, but I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, Tampa's going to win this one. It's not a lot. It's not a lot in Atlanta to even do anything with this. So I think Baker's on a mission this year. They're my pick to come out the NFC this year. I'll be honest with you.
Really?
I'm picking Tampa Bay to possibly make it to at least the NFC Championship game this year.
When we get into the 4:00 window, we have the San Francisco 49ers with Christian McCaffrey, who will play with his turkey leg of a calf, going to the Seattle Seahawks. And the line for this one is San Francisco 1.5, and it's a low total of 43.5.
I take the under as a Seahawks fan here. I take the under, and I think this one really could go either way. But I'm leaning towards San Francisco still. I think it's going to hinge, though, on what we see out of McCaffrey and their running backs there.
Who's the starting quarterback for Seattle?
No clue. I haven't paid that much attention.
Isn't it Darnold?
It's right. Either Darnold or Locke. I think it's Darnold, though.
No, it's Darnold. And I'll be honest with you. I mean, I don't know who to pick in that one.
Yeah.
I really don't. I do like taking it over a 40.5. I do think I think that'll probably hit 40.5. But I mean, if I had to pick a team, you know what? I take the Seahawks at home. I'm gonna take the Seahawks. They don't have all the receivers in San Francisco anymore. Ayuk is hurt. I think Seattle wins.
Oh, Ayuk is hurt? I didn't know that.
Isn't he injured still?
So
I think I think I could agree with you then Seattle instead of San Francisco being at home. The problem though is that these two normally play each other in relatively low scoring games.
They do.
Yeah.
Well, I mean divisional games.
Yeah.
Another kind of game, if you will. You have the Tennessee Titans and their rookie number 1 overall pick quarterback visiting the Denver Broncos. Can Bo Nix continue and have a sophomore, resurgence and like really lead the Denver Broncos to the promised land? The line for this one is the biggest line of the weekend. Denver 8.5, and the line is 42.5. It's expected like Denver's got, and this line hasn't moved either. It looks like everyone's expecting Denver to blow Tennessee off the field.
I mean, Denver's defense is still real good. And I think that that's going to be the story of the game is just Denver's defense controlling it and Nick's doing what he has to do. I think this one will be low scoring. I don't just because Denver's offense never has really been super high scoring themselves, but I don't know if they clear that 8 points. I think I would take Tennessee with the points.
Well, I think they do. I think they absolutely do. I don't think Tennessee is going to be able to score on them.
I mean, I think Denver wins, but I think I would take Tennessee with the points on this one, just as a shot.
I think I do like. I do agree with Sean on this, just because it's a divisional for an opening game too. So
they're not divisional.
You said it's we're talking about
Tennessee and Denver.
They're two different.
You're right. Either way, I still 8.5 is kind of tough for me with Denver still with a young quarterback. I do like to take the points in that one. I mean, it's a big margin, so there's nothing wrong with making that pick. But I do think Denver wins.
Yeah.
Next, we have what is probably in my opinion, the second best game of the weekend, and that is the Detroit Lions visiting Lambeau Field and the Green Bay Packers at 4:25. This is going to be a fantastic game. I can't wait for this one.
And the trash talking has begun.
Mm-hmm.
Parsons is already opening his mouth. I think that's one of the reasons why Dallas got a little tired of him, because he just talks too much for a guy who has not won anything yet. So we'll see. I mean, the talking heads this morning were trying to make it sound like Micah Parsons is imaging Reggie White going to the Packers and then getting them a Super Bowl. And I'm just like, first of all, in my opinion, Love isn't there yet. Could we stop with Love being like, they're trying to make him sound like he's like a top 5 quarterback. I'm tired of hearing it. He's not done anything to even get that recognition right now. And now he gets Michael Parsons, and all of a sudden they're odds-on favorites out of NFC. And I'm like, what are we doing? Michael was with Dallas. They were never the odds-on favorite to win NFC. So I don't know what the difference is. So if I think the Packers win, I don't think it has anything to do with Michael Parsons. I just think that the Packers at home in Granville is just unstoppable. It's always been like that with Green Bay. They don't lose at home very often.
Green Bay surprisingly had a top 10 defense last year. So I think that's why Micah Parsons being added is such a being talked up as much as it is. What's the over under for this, if you don't mind my asking?
48.5.
I take the over on this one though. Divisional, and the thing though with Jordan Love is that he's the definition of a gunslinger, and everyone loves to talk about Josh Allen and his turnovers. Jordan Love is a turnover machine, and I think that's what this game is going to hinge on. I think that Detroit wins the turnover battle and wins the game.
I think Detroit's going to have something to prove, especially with the way they went out of the playoffs last year. They're relatively healthy on defense, which they were not in that playoff game. I think Detroit's going to be real nasty looking this year. And I think they're my pick right now.
The only point I'm going to give you is that they lost their entire coaching staff. Both their defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator are on different teams now. They got a whole different coaching staff, and they got some young players in there right now. They
True.
expect to go into Lambeau with a new coaching staff and a new type of philosophy to beat them. That's why I lean on the Packers.
Yeah, maybe. Same head coach, though, and same star players, same quarterback. Jamar Gibbs is still there. Amon-Ra St. Brown is still there. So I don't know. I think Detroit's still going to be pretty good. And then the last game at the 4 o'clock window, it's the last one we'll talk about, is the Texans are visiting the Rams, and the Rams are a 3.5-point favorite. This one has moved a little bit. The Rams have moved up considerably, and it's 43.5. I think the Rams are going to destroy the Texans.
I think Rams win relatively easily. Houston lost a lot of key players. And whatchamacallit there, CJ Stroud still hasn't really sold me on being as great as a lot of people think he is. I think Stafford just shows his experience, and the Rams win here.
Yeah, I like the Rams too. You guys said it all. Houston is one of those you just don't know. They got too many questions right now. So if you got too many questions, in my opinion, I'm taking the latter.
Yeah. All right. So that is our week 1 preview prediction video. We're going to just do one last segment for you guys. What's that?
The Monday night game.
Yeah, we'll talk about that tomorrow.
Okay.
We're gonna have a lot to talk about when we break down this game. So we will get into the Monday night game tomorrow. We're going to do one last segment for you guys where we are going to give you guys a little bit of betting advice for the week. And each one of us is going to give our best bets of the week. And we are going to give one player prop of the week. So I will go first. And my player prop of the week for you is going to be Chase Brown with an anytime touchdown. So that is Cincinnati's running back to get in the end zone at least once. I think that is a lock. And then as far as my best bet for the week, I think Cincinnati on the money line is real good. And then as far as a spread pick, I love Tampa -1.5. And your over under, I think that will easily hit, is going to be that 48.5 number in the Lions Packers game.
I like it. I think I said it earlier. I believe that the New England over the Raiders is a guarantee for me. I don't think the Raiders have a chance in hell in beating New England at home in an opener, especially with the present roster that they have. I think New England walks away with it. I can't argue with your spread pick. That's probably what I would go with. I like that. I like that pick a lot. If I were to do a player prop, I more than likely, I like Baker Mayfield with 2+ touchdowns. That's my pick. That's my player prop is Baker Mayfield 2+ touchdowns. I don't think Atlanta has anything in their secondary to slow them down. I think their offense is a machine. They looked really good last year, and they didn't lose really too much going into this year. I like Baker Mayfield 2+ touchdowns.
So for my player, I think I take Josh Allen with a rushing and a passing touchdown.
Yeah.
I take Arizona on the money line, and the over under. I would take the San Francisco Seattle game on the under.
Under 43.5?
Yep.
All right, lock it in. So that is our pregame for NFL Week 1, guys. We'll catch up with you guys tomorrow. We're going to break it all down. Whatever happens today, we'll look at our picks and see how we did, and we will break down the Bills, win or lose. And you'll be hearing from us every week as we make our way through the start of a beautiful football season. So with that, guys, enjoy the NFL this week. Have yourselves a fantastic day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.